Hey everyone, it's Libby from Maighstir Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, that's W-O-R-I-M-I, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies. Yes, removal boxes, pictures are still on the wall though, so you know when those come out, we're getting pretty close, which will be this time next week. Okay, yeah, in my calculations for some reason I had an extra week in there, which is yes, because by crikey, we need it. Entertainment only, and by crikey, we need it. I'm just going to point out, please, please, please be kind to all the readers that are in the community. You don't know what anybody's going through. These are really hard times at the moment. I personally treat this as a full-time job, which means because things happen in my life, it means I often work evenings, which works for me because I don't have young kids, and to be honest, while hubby's sitting on the couch watching whatever he's watching on the telly, I can sit there on the tablet and do work. So just every single one of us readers have our way of operating, so please, please, please be kind to the whole community of them. Okay, what I want to have a look at, there is so much to look at today. A couple of things that I'll just very briefly touch on in a really positive. Apparently blow up frog costumes have sold out and there's a backlog. If you can hear some crunching in the background, I've just given the dogs some bully stick chews. But yeah, go the frog costumes. Portland, keep it weird. So I love it. Portland's got the costumes, the unicorns, the carrots, the frogs, the bananas, the whatever else it is. Love it, love it, love it. Naked cyclists, etc. Washington was here, have a sandwich, here, have a donut, here, have a etc. I'm not sure what Chicago's doing, but I'm pretty sure they're being just as wild as well. So absolutely love it. Also, just want to mention tomorrow I'm on with Laurie from The Way of Positive Change. Love you, Laurie. And I'm not sure whether it's a live collab or whether it's a recorded. I'll find out when the email's sent to me and his body come for a cuddle. So, yep, that waggly tail. So I shall be on with Laurie, which probably means I won't be on for other readings as well. I find the collabs take a lot out of me. Right, where do I start? Well, news, first of all, John Bolton has information's come out that John Bolton is going to get charged with whatever he's going to get charged with. Apparently something to do. Remember a couple of months ago, or weeks ago, God, it feels like years ago, his house got searched for secret documents, like sensitive secret documents, etc. Gee, I wonder who had a whole bathroom and ballroom stage full of them, but fought tooth and nail about getting charged for having taken them away. Oh, far out, man. Yeah, so John Bolton, it's just part of the vindictive tour. I'll have a look when the charges are laid. I don't think they're going to have a leg to stand on in regards to that. Actually, I'll throw a couple of cards anyhow. Using the mystical manga. Oh, there's so much to cover. I could do 10 videos today. And the reason why I do so many videos is, first of all, it means you can pick and choose. But it also means that I don't, first of all, pick and choose. But rather than doing sort of an hour and a half with 20 different questions and having mid-roll ads and all the rest of it, which YouTube can put in without actually being requested to do so. So again, people just doing things differently. Tell me quickly just about John Bolton. John Bolton. Okay, that's flung out. King of Cups. Well, he does look like a walrus, doesn't he? So the King of Cups there. So how's the charges against John Bolton going to do? I'll pull out my John Bolton card. I have no idea what his birth date is, but as I said, he looks like a walrus, so I'll call that my John Bolton card. And you can see why he's called Spot. His big lovely Spot. Okay, emotionally out in the cold, not emotionally, financially out in the cold. Okay, let's see how this is going to go. How are the charges against John Bolton? The Knight of Swords, right, challenged by this legal action that's coming forward. rash legal action, harsh legal action. The energy that it's stewing in at the moment, the court case, he's going to it's going to be a nothing case like the other two, the one against James and the one against Comey. I think it's going to be a nothing case. It was ordered by the Emperor as part of his vindictive to the Emperor in the past, creating this threat in the Queen of Coins, probably bought by potentially Homeland Security. I mean, it's going to be bought by the DOJ, but it's in regards to Homeland Security with documents, being the Queen of Coins. Because this is protective, it's a protective figure of what she's holding. I often see it as, and it's internal, I see it as in Homeland Security. So Homeland Security documents, the immediate future, the Four of Swords, the announcement's going to come out from the White House. Externally, there's going to be a lot of discussion about the charges. Five of Wands, just push back on the charges is what I'm getting there. Internally, it's to do with John Bolton having documents at his home. Again, somebody who had a bathroom and a ballroom stage full of them can't really, mutter, mutter, mutter. But yeah, internally it was with the Nine of Pentacles, it was because of these documents in John Bolton's home. Hopes and fears, the Ten of Pentacles, bringing this to an ending. The outcome, Magician, manipulation, Ace of Cups, and the Fool. An emotional cleansing here, really emotional, and the Fool. It's I really think the case, and then we've got Temperance, a restoration of balance. I really think the cases are nothing but out of the inner circle. It's basically been brought about because John Bolton was critical of the orange twerp. Out of the inner circle here with the Five of Pentacles. I don't think he had something that he wasn't supposed to have, but he did have, they wouldn't have been top secret or anything like that. They just would have been documents that were found in his home. But, it's causing him a lot of emotional anguish here. And then we got the Queen of Cups, trying to keep the lid on something, but it's going to be brought to an end. There's a lot of hard work going on behind the scenes. Oh, it's trying to bring an end. All they're doing is trying to cause fear. That's what they're doing. There's a lot of hard work going on behind the scenes, but I don't think they're going to be able to harvest. What have we got? The Eight of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and it's not going to go anywhere with the Hanged Man. Might even, the passing of the orange twerp might even bring the ending of it. It is nothing but a find something on him, search his home because he worked in government, so therefore he'll have some sort of documents. They've found the documents. It's called, bringing the charges will cause a lot of anguish. Oh, look at there's a little nose there. Causing a lot of anguish. It's just nothing but petty vindictiveness. It's not going to go anywhere, but they know the idea is to sort of cause fear and anyhow, okay, let it go. As Sheila said, she was on with Dave Johnson yesterday, or the day before. It was a really good channeling video. If you haven't checked it either on Sheila or Dave Johnson, Sheila Celtic Tarot or Dave Johnson Moonride, check it out on either channel. It was a really good video, and as Sheila said, stay out of the energy. And I'm just going to say, absolutely, stay out of the energy. Put the emotions there, observe them, and then take them and put them by the side of the road, knowing that if you want to come back and pick them up, you can. So when we're in this Oh, right. Put them there. Box them up. Put them in a nice little packing box. Put them by the side of the road, shoebox, whatever they fit in. Put them by the side of the road and continue on. Knowing that if you ever want to come back and pick those emotions up, you can, but don't allow them to consume you. Don't allow them to dictate who you are, because fear is the chaos causing fear is the absolute key. And the reason why this regime is not going to succeed is because the people don't fear. Well, the majority of people don't fear. There are an element, obviously, that do fear and should fear. But if there's not the fear, they don't have the, you're not being submissive, ergo they don't have control over you. They don't have the fear of the people, and they don't have control of the military. Yeah, they don't have control of the military. Sheila and Dave also did a really good viewing of the military leaders, with meetings going on in the background saying, okay, if this happens, this is the action we'll take. And if this happens, they've got all these like flow chart plans of where they go, flow charts coming up to a single point, I imagine. Okay, what I actually wanted to look at in this reading, believe it or not, 12 minutes and finally getting onto it, is the shutdown. Now, I had said when I read on the shutdown before it happened that they have no intention of opening back up. Looks like that looks like what they're doing. Now, and I said it was a consolidation of power. So quite how the Orange Twerp is flying to another country on Air Force One using military personnel when their military personnel are not getting paid. Apparently there's reports of military personnel at food banks and pantries because they've got to feed their kids. Apparently the Orange Twerp has ordered Hegseth to pay the military. Now, I'm not quite sure how that works in a shutdown, because shutdown means no pay. He's ordered Hegseth to pay the military because he knows that this is really turning the military off him, and he just does not have the military. What I wanted to have a look at, though, is one of my beautiful viewers sent it to me in regards to the shutdown, is that the Dems are concentrating on the Affordable Care Act and Medicare and Medicaid, because that's what affects the average person. So that they've decided that's what their messaging is that the reason why they're not coming to the party is they want assurances that Medicare and Medicaid, the reduction in the budgets will be increased back to what they what they were, plus a bit. I imagine plus a bit because CPI and all the rest of it. However, it appears another sector that the reason why they're holding off and pushing back is to do with the Impoundment Control Act. Don't know why the light just changed there. The Impoundment Control Act. Now, this is an act that was brought in 1974 after Congress had approved funding for housing and anti-poverty measures and protection of the environment, etc. And gee, who was that other criminal president? Nixon decided that he didn't agree with those policies that Congress passed, so he refused to sign them into being and prevented the funding from happening. Basically blocked, as the president, with the centre of control, blocked the funding that had been approved by Congress. So that led to the Impoundment Control Act in 1974. That was put in place to prevent the blocking of approved funding by the president. However, oh, sorry about the light changing. It's a bit cloudy outside. The orange twerp didn't like that. He wanted to have absolute authority. Let me see if I can get this light back again. Give me my light back. Okay. The orange twerp wanted absolute authority on the spending, which is what he wants. He wants the he wants to control the purse. That's the card on the bottom, the Four of Pentacles. He wants total control of spending, full stop. Now, in his first regime, he blocked funding going to Ukraine because, okay, this was before the Ukraine invasion by Russia. He blocked funding going to Ukraine. I don't even know what the funding was for because they wouldn't come to the party to provide something contentious about Biden just because there was nothing contentious. So you get what I mean. He tried it. He tried it in his first regime, got away with it. That's the problem. When he gets away with it, or when those that are pulling the strings behind the scene get away with it, they then double down. So in this particular regime, first of all, the Office of Management and Budget Vote, VOUGHT, has declared the Empowerment Control Act unconstitutional. Went through to Congress, I believe, and Congress kind of sort of agreed with them to a degree. Now, apparently, there is a clause in the Act called the rescission clause, and it does allow, in limited circumstances, the president can temporarily withhold funding until the end of the fiscal year. And the problem is if that end of fiscal year is when the funding is supposed to be spent by, then basically what happens is that funding is then completely cancelled. It's supposed to be extremely limited. It's supposed to be if something is no longer required. So, for example, if the funding was approved to build a new aircraft carrier or something by the Department of Defence, and the Department of Defence said, yeah, no, we'll just keep the Nimitz going for another couple of years. We don't need that funding this year. He could then withhold the funding because it's not going to be spent. That sort of thing. So, but what's happened is that he's basically taken it to mean that he controls the purse. So, this is what the Dems are actually, aside from the Affordable Care Act and Medicaid, this is what the Dems are really not shifting on. And so they shouldn't, because basically if you allow this to go through, allow this to happen without any the holding of the Ukraine funding back in 2019 triggered the impeachment of the orange twerp. He didn't actually get impeached because Congress refused to, but that's what actually triggered the impeachment, was him withholding the funding. This time it's just willy-nilly. And basically what it means is if he's not held accountable on doing this, he has unlimited control over the finances. So therefore Congress, if they approve something and he didn't agree with it, no. If he wanted funding for something else, he'd write an executive order. It again makes Congress completely irrelevant, and it's a consolidation of power. Now, the orange twerp doesn't come up with this stuff by himself. We know this. This is written by those behind the scenes. And as I did the reading last week, I think, was it on Russell Vaught? I can't remember. Had said in an interview in August of 2024 that they already had 300 and something executive orders drafted up for when the orange twerp becomes president. Oh, talk about red flags. Okay, let's have a look. I just want to have a look. Will the Dems cave on this shutdown? What's happening is firings are taking place. Again, legally, the federal workers are supposed to be furloughed, which basically puts them on leave without pay. And then when the government opens up again, they get the back pay for that furloughed period. Right. Cards that popped out. Stabbed in the back. Absolutely. But something's being stabbed in the back and being brought to an ending. There's a change that is coming. The Wheel of Fortune will turn. And this is my placate the orange twerp. To placate the orange twerp. So I don't know whether it just goes on for too long. I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound. But let's have a look. Show me. Will the Dems, something being stabbed in the back, change coming, and trying to placate the orange twerp. But let's have a look. Will the Dems cave? And then I'll ask, okay, will the Dems concede on this Empowerment Control Act? I think this is actually really important. If anything, it's even more important on the Affordable Care Act and Medicaid. I know Affordable Care Act and Medicaid means that you get your medication, but if this Empowerment Control Act issue is not stopped, it doesn't matter if Medicaid and Affordable Care Act are not going to matter. Okay, are they going to concede? Are they going to cave? Are they going to give up on standing firm on the Empowerment Control Act? Come on down. Sorry about the really, really long intro. It's like a peace offering. God, I hope they don't. It is a yes card. It is a peace offering being made because emotions are running high. Oh, and the card on the bottom, Six of Pentacles. It's all about the money going to the top and getting controlled. I think they're going to, yeah. Oh, okay. To placate the orange twerp. The challenges is keeping him right, keeping him soothed. The energy that they're in, I'm asking about the Dems. Will the Dems cave on this? They've got the message stick, but the message stick, they're not being forceful enough. They're not. It's sort of insipid messaging that they're getting out with the Page of Wands. In the past, it's all about control of the money with the, what is it, the Seven of Pentacles. If you're wondering what deck this is, it's the Golden Universal Tarot. It's all about approved funding not getting through. It's about the money all sitting in the bank. I mean, the amount of funding that got approved that didn't get paid, you could just about pay the debt off, couldn't you? Yeah, that's what it's all about. Funding that didn't get paid out. Okay, crowning the reading, you've got the Nine of Pentacles, thinking that they've got sorry, haven't had my coffee yet this morning. Be careful what you wish for. This is old school Republicans, thinking they've got all the cups lined up in a row, but they're so easy to knock off. It's almost like the old school Republicans, and I'm looking at you, Schumer and Pelosi and all you other old ones that have been there forever. You think this regime is still honourable. No, it's not. This worries me. The energy over it is getting everything lined up and in a row, but it can be tipped over with a simple sweep of the hands. Okay, the immediate future, some sort of an announcement coming out about movement forward. Not there yet in the immediate future. I think the shutdown will go for a little while longer. Externally, la 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 la, falling off the cliff. I think they're going to, not straight away, but I think they're going to. The dog here is warning, trying to warn the fool. Stop. Look where you're going. Look at the it's almost like the old school think if they get these agreements that the regime's going to hold by them. But anyhow, frustration. Internally, loss, disappointment, heartbreak. Once it goes through, because they didn't listen to the dog warning. Yeah, financially, those that need funding. Yeah, it's going to be look after yourself. The outcome, the legislators, justice, legal system, and a couple of queens here, but as this outcome. Some queen's going to stand up and really tell it as it is. We've got justice here, may go to the Supreme Court. Again, this empowerment control act. But we've got the Queen of Pentacles here. Might be some sort of legal case in regards to it. But the Supreme Court have chained themselves to this devil. And the ending and a false victory. False victory. Oh, I'm really disappointed actually that they would. Because yeah, here is the trickle up economy. Stinky fish, trying to keep things covered up, but full exposure, investigation, even bigger legal action about the money. This is not over, but okay, what I got, I just heard live to fight another day. It's almost like they're going to cave and deal with this later. But the problem is, is there going to be a later? Every time they cave, it gives more power. Okay, how are the Republicans going to go? First of all, they don't. Mikey of the Little Johnson does not want to reopen. Well, he said that he does, but I don't know that he does. Chuck Grassley, I believe, the one is blocking it, because what will happen is that the new Democrat House rep, even though Mikey Johnson hasn't sworn her in, will sit, because once a certain the only Mikey Johnson can only stop her from being sworn in early. She will sit. I think it's next week. Okay. However, if they don't open up again, then they can't bring to the floor the vote in regards to releasing the EPS files. Okay. Will the Republicans, to open up again, will they concede? Will they, you got those ones, okay. Can't argue. As I said, every reader does it differently. They'll do what they're ordered. But what are they ordered? Will they concede? The legislators getting their orders from a stinky fish in a cup. So it's also something unexpected out of left field. Will they concede? Plan coming to fruition, waiting for their ships to come in. Smoke and mirrors, illusion, delusion. Poor choices. Crowning it. In the immediate future, a gift from the past. My Epstein Files card as well. So what am I getting here? Pardon me. I always feel lungy when I'm anything to do with the orange twerp. Smoke and mirrors. Why have we got some sort of unexpected message about that will bring about smoke and mirrors and poor choices and choices based on greed? The question was, will they concede? I don't think they will. Emotional, overwhelming, a peace offering. But then we've got the abuse. Oh, speaking of which, apparently there's flooding in New Mexico at the moment, or on the forecast. Been saying for, gosh, over a year now that certain things will be exposed with flooding in New Mexico. Sterling, I think, picked it up about 2 weeks ago. An emotional overwhelming about abuse and betrayal and self-sabotage. What have we got going on here? Back up against the wall with their last plan. Star of Hope and Healing. Female legislators. And the anguish that this is the and restriction. This is the Democratic House Rep. And then we've got, look at these swords to end with. Was restricted. Nightmare situation. The restriction is going to be released. And then we've got walking towards something that serves, and then the big stick coming forward. And then we've got, this is my military card. But it can also be a chaotic movement forward, something being moved forward but slowly. Okay. Secrets being revealed, hidden agendas, King of Swords and the Emperor and the false victory. Treason. Treason. Then we've got money and then the orange twerp, the decaying King of Pentacles. What is going on here? Okay. Okay, I know what's going on here. I think they're being told, don't open, because the legislators are being told. Because I gather, according to Massey, they've got enough signatures to release the Epps files. So it's like the two parties have two different, and I'm not talking about all the Republican members. Okay, let's dig into this a little bit further. They've got two different agendas about why opening up, why staying in shutdown. It's like they're not even, it feels like they're not even talking to each other. What I'm getting is, it's like, the image I'm getting is that, you know, in those prison movies, and they've got the pane of perspex or whatever it is between the two parties that meet, and you're supposed to pick up the phone. It feels like they're babbling at each other, but neither of them are picking up the phone and talking to the other side. It's like they've got there's two different agendas and two different conversations going on, and they're yelling at each other across this soundproof perspex. It's the most bizarre image. Okay, what do I want to ask next? Mikey of the Little Johnson has come out and basically, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Right, he's come out and kind of hinted that he wants to reopen the government. But apparently Chuck Grassley in the Senate is the one that is blocking it from reopening. Now, I'm just going to say what I'm getting is Chuck Grassley is at the end of his career, and he's drawn the short straw. Does that make sense? To protect Mikey, to protect little Johnson, to give little Johnson some cover. Is that what I'm getting? Show me. Is that? Show me. Yeah, he's been put out to pasture. There's been some sort of agreement made here to keep little Johnson in his position of power. Tower, fool, false victory. That was my question. Yeah, I'm going to say. So, yeah, implosion, which allows Mikey to continue on, but it is a false victory for Mikey. And then you've got the government here and the Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth coming forward. Money flowing upwards, the infighting. It's just the usual stuff that they're planning. Yeah, it's a false victory to keep to give Mikey cover. I'm just going to ask, will Hegseth, sorry, just randomly putting these cards back, will Hegseth find a way to pay the military? Despite the shutdown? Because boy, they ain't happy. What is it? Been 2 weeks now? Yes, 2 weeks now, or nearly 2 weeks without pay. I mean, a lot of people survive from paycheck to paycheck. You know, the mortgage, caravan and boat on with loans, the car on financing, you know, the kids in private school, you name it. A lot of them, I'm not saying that they have that, but you know what I mean. A lot of people survive paycheck to paycheck. The majority, I think it's about 70%, wouldn't have the money in the bank account to replace the fridge if the fridge blew up. That sort of numbers. Let's have a look. Will Higgs find a way to pay the military? Well, it's exposing something. Something's getting exposed. First of all, it is a yes card. Ugh. Big yes card. But something naive. Something being exposed. Challenged by moving forward legally. There might be a legal challenge about this. I mean, if the military can get paid, why cannot other essential workers get paid? Challenged by the legality of it. Under the cover of darkness is what I'm getting. I think he's going to find a way to pay them out of other funds, if that makes sense. It's going to be too little too late, the energy behind it, emotionally walking away, too little too late. We've got that Queen of Wands in the past again. Can be sort of an internal plan that was made. The all-seeing cat sees everything, though. Crowning the reading, loss, disappointment, heartbreak. The immediate future, the star. An offer being made with the unexpected offer externally, internally a peace offering. Cents in the dollar, the hopes and fears. A token payment. I'm getting a token payment and it's going to come out from some of those block funds, but it's going to be like a bonus, not an actual pay. token payment, but I don't think it's going to go down real well. It's going to be legally challenged. King of Cups, whoever this is, and some sort of agreement that has come to for the military. Going to be a judgment moment, though. It's going to be a big wake-up call. And then the Four of Swords. It's then, I think it might be a one-off payment. You've got the death card. This regime knows that it's at the end. It's at the end of its ability. So to try and delay this, it's going to make an offer, but it's going to be I'm just going to say legally treasonous offer almost. Trying to keep a lid on the backlash that has come about from the from holding back the pay. There are meetings that are happening in secret about the money. They're trying to work out how legally they can do this with so Three of Pentacles, Eight of Swords. I think they're going to actually take action on it with the Knight of Swords, rash action on it, desperate action on it. But then they're going to have to defend the position that they took, the Seven of Wands, in regards to handing out this money. So, yeah, I do think they're going to find a way to, well, it's almost, I'm going to say a cents on the dollar payment, like a one-off bonus check type thing to military personnel. I don't think it's going to go down well, though. I just really don't think it's going to go down well. Okay. Okay, I shall talk to you shortly. Let's move on to a different topic, and I shall catch up with you in a moment. Catch you later.